Hello, welcome to Colonel O'Truth's Miniature Issues. For over a year now, I've been building Undercrag City, a miniature fantasy city built using simple materials and simple techniques. I've installed working lighting, built a water wheel, and an upside-down windmill, and most recently, an observatory. This is Undercrag City. In today's episode, I'm going to build Overcrag Lane. This will be a collection of houses built into the hillside of the Overcrag around the stairs that lead down to Undercrag City and Ceiling Lane. I'm starting by building myself a base to work from. A piece of 5mm foam core, cut to fit the landscape, and then labelled with where I'm going to put my buildings. It's a bit of a concept sketch at this point. Things will change. I'm peeling off the paper where I think my flagstones will go. This will blend in with what I've already done on the Overcrag. Now it's time to start plotting the buildings themselves. I want them to be at a variety of heights. The fronts of the houses will follow the basic triangular template of the other houses I've built so far on the Overcrag. Having plotted them out, it's time to start cutting out the doors and windows. Each one will have the paper peeled off the front so that I can detail it with stonework. They look fairly rudimentary at this point. I've numbered the backs of them so that I don't lose track of where they're going. Time to draw the stonework. Just by hand with a basic pencil. One of the characteristics of the buildings on the Overcrag is their forward-leaning eaves. I'm adding these in. Plenty of PVA, and on goes my black card. And now I can start adding woodwork. This is thin balsa. I've drawn it into strips, and I'm hand drawing planks along the grain. I want a rough look to this. They're a bit fragile and break apart, but it's okay. I'm just lining the eaves. I'll let them dry and then trim them back. Make sure your knife is very sharp for this, or everything will just tear. Replacing a broken one. And now strips of balsa wood. And I'll start my timber detailing, beginning with the A-frame. As you can see, this is really a very, very simple approach. There's no reason to get complicated. These are simple dwellings. Now some matchsticks. And then some little balsa wood rectangles to hide the join and add some character. And some more hand-drawn planks, cut into small pieces, and we've got doors. Once the doors are in place, I can start painting, starting with the stonework. I'm not too worried about being messy here. Just get the dark grey base coat on as quickly as possible. And add in the little bits that I forgot. With the dark grey on, I'm painting all of my woodwork with a light grey. And then dry brushing the stone with the same light grey. Next, brown ink. Making sure I get all of the woodwork down the edges as well as the front faces. When that's dry brush with light yellow. I've shown these techniques many times before, so I'm just going through them fairly quickly here. And then white. You can also see I've prepared some matchsticks for later on. The white goes onto the stonework as well as the woodwork. Now a very thin black ink wash on all of the stone. This is 1 part black ink to 16 parts water. Next, brown ink again over all of the woodwork, just as before. The difference being this time, the dry brushing shows through. I'm adding some hardware to the doors. Again, a technique I've shown many times. Just little pieces of thin black card, a touch of silver paint, and a touch of rust ink, just to take the shine off. The larger house has a nice blue door. With all that done, I can add window glass. This is acetate sheet that's been daubed on both sides with Mod Podge to obscure it. It doesn't matter if I get a bit of PVA on there, that'll just help with the obscuring. And it's time to glue these to my base. These are following the outline of my original concept. Now I've got to figure out how they all link together. First I'll add some right-angled props to make sure everything's nice and straight. Now to figure out my pathways. This is a block of XPS foam. I'm going to cut it into steps. It's deliberately irregular, but it's falling shy of my doorway. I need to do some thinking, move stuff around until it looks right. I'm piecing it all together, a little block at a time. These larger chunks have been scored to look like rock. I just slash the surface and pull them apart with my thumb. It's all a bit haphazard, not much planning, but that's good. It'll make things look organic. I've added a board at the back, at the edge of the model. I'm cutting it into the outline of the buildings. Piece of foam board with the paper stripped off. And I can quickly draw a chimney. In it goes. So I can start to close in my roofs. You'll see I've added LEDs and wiring. I've shown that in previous episodes. Now those matchsticks. These beams are another characteristic of most of the buildings on the Overcrag. Time to start drawing stonework into my steps and paths. With the stonework done, it's time to start sculpting. Lots of PVA, and on goes the red Das clay. Working it into shape with a brush and more PVA. I'm covering the flat surfaces and blending together the rocks. Once that's done, I can add sand, everywhere that I want dirt, and wherever I want mosses on my rocks. The families in these houses are some of the oldest to have populated the Overcrag. Their ancestors were a mixture of those who came from the north and those who came from Undercrag City. They're a tough bunch, used to the cold weather up here on the Overcrag. My sand's dry, so it's time to paint all the grey stone. This is the same as the walls of the houses. Dark grey first. If you're new to Undercrag City and you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. And have a look at the playlist. This is the 67th episode of this project, so there's plenty to see. Please also like and share, and feel free to leave comments. I answer every single one, and I do like hearing from you all. If you're not new to this channel, welcome back. The grey's on, and I've painted all of my earth brown. Now I'm going to take some little pieces of plastic tube and glue them in place as chimney pots. Then everything can dry for a while. Time to start dry brushing. I wanted this particular street to be half Viking, half Hobbit. There's something of the Shire here. At least I think so. A lighter tone over all of the earth. And then pale yellow. I need to touch up some of the woodwork. These are strips of basswood that I've pre-coloured. Poking holes into the model with my trusty pointy stick. A blob of PVA and a fence post goes into each one. Just to keep people safe. And now some flower boxes. These are just small pieces of basswood, shaped and coloured. The larger house has the same blue as it does on its door. Black ink wash on the stone, exactly the same as I did on the houses. Touches of green on my mosses. And then I'm washing those out with yellow. And now a brown wash on all of my earth. Finishing off the chimneys with rust ink. And now at last it's time to add some grass. First, a generous coating of PVA. Now a few flowers and tufts of grass, just to make things a little more interesting. And heap on the static grass. When that's dry, PVA on the window boxes and some bright green flock, just heaping it in there. I'll shake off the excess. We're nearly there. I'm adding the fence rails. It's a little fiddly, but nothing a trusty pointy stick can't handle. Some tiny touches of white paint on the flower boxes, followed by ink. Pink and red flowers, yellow flowers. I'll leave some white. And into the model we go. I've added in stonework and blending the join with clay, working over some of what I've done before. The same grey paint and ink washes. And before you know it, we're done. Overcrag Lane. A simple but effective addition to the Overcrag. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.